Have you ever experienced the most embarrassing moment of your life? What if that moment was so intense that both you and your family would never forget it for a long time? Today, I want to tell you about the hardest and most humiliating night of my life. And I'm genuinely curious, if something like this happened to you, how would you deal with it? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. First, I need to say this. From the outside, my relationship with my wife probably looks like a normal marriage, but behind closed doors, we had a very different dynamic. She was always someone who liked pushing boundaries, living with intense passion, and experiencing intimacy in much more extreme ways. Over the years, many of the things that happened in our bedroom were shaped by her desires. Sometimes, even I felt like it was a bit too much, but her desire, boldness, and insatiable energy were always some of the strongest parts of our relationship. Raising two kids made it harder and harder for us to find time for ourselves over the years. But now our son was away at college, and our daughter was about to graduate. For the first time in a long while, my wife and I were excited about having more time to reconnect and focus on each other. That night, our daughter was supposed to be staying over at her best friend's house. As soon as she left, my wife told me to meet her in the basement a little later. I knew exactly what she meant. I got everything ready. I prepared the things that were private between us, and not long after that, we met downstairs. I won't go into details, but what happened that night took place during a moment when the two of us felt completely private and safe. The problem was that our daughter came home early without warning. When she heard noises coming from the basement and came downstairs, she saw something no child should ever have to see involving their parents. I can still hear the scream she let out in that moment. I froze. My wife and I both stood there for a few seconds, without even fully understanding what had just happened. Then she ran off. For me, that single second turned into the most overwhelming embarrassment I have ever felt in my life. I wanted time to stop. I wanted everything to rewind, but it was already too late. We tried to pull ourselves together, got dressed, and talked to her. She kept apologizing, but the truth was, she was not the one who had anything to apologize for. We told her she had done nothing wrong, and that we were the ones who felt terrible. But no matter what we said, it was impossible to erase how uncomfortable and upsetting that moment had been. This happened just last night, so everything at home still feels incredibly awkward. There's silence, embarrassment, guilt, and a kind of emotional heaviness hanging over everything. But more than anything, I'm afraid that my daughter will carry this memory with her for years, and that it might leave a lasting mark on her. That's exactly why I'm telling this story. Maybe some of you have been through something similarly humiliating, painful, or emotionally overwhelming within your family. Or maybe someone out there knows the right way to handle a situation like this. If this happened to you, how would you deal with it? After something like this, can a family ever really go back to normal? I'm honestly curious to hear your thoughts, so please share them in the comments.